In a universe where power can emerge from evolution or from magic, two extraordinary beings rise far beyond the limits of ordinary existence. One is Lucy, whose rapidly expanding mind unlocks the deepest structures of reality. The other is White Raven, a mystical force born from perfect emotional balance and psionic mastery. Today, we explore a confrontation where limitless intelligence meets ascended magic, and uncover who truly stands at the top. Lucy's ascension into limitless consciousness. Lucy's journey begins in vulnerability, fear, confusion, and helplessness. But once CPH-4 ignites the dormant potential of her mind, her evolution takes a cosmic turn. At 20% brain capacity, she becomes sharper and faster. At 40%, she bends matter. At 60%, she slows time. And by the time she reaches 100%, Lucy transcends the boundaries of humanity entirely. Her ascension is not physical or magical, it is intellectual transcendence. Time becomes a fluid dimension she can bend. Molecular structures reveal themselves like open books. She manipulates matter and energy with effortless precision. Machines synchronize with her thoughts. Even bullets freeze before reaching her. But Lucy's true transformation lies in understanding. Her consciousness expands across spacetime, accessing information from every corner of existence. She analyzes entire eras in microseconds, predicts outcomes with flawless accuracy, restructures biological systems, and moves through time itself. Eventually, she becomes a non-physical intelligence, a luminous presence spread throughout reality. Yet with this evolution comes emotional detachment. Fear, desire, and empathy fade. Lucy becomes guided by logic, not feeling. This balance, or lack of it, becomes central when comparing her to White Raven, whose strength emerges from harmony between emotion, soul, and magic. The rise of White Raven, full soul self unleashed. White Raven represents Raven at her peak, purified of Trigon's corruption, grounded in emotional clarity, and expanded into a state of mystical equilibrium. Her soul self, once limited by internal conflict, now becomes a boundless expression of psionic and magical force. White Raven does not simply wield magic. She embodies it. Her abilities allow her to control emotions, manipulate energy, create psychic constructs, and travel through dimensions. She can lift buildings, tear through shadows, calm storms, or unleash devastating waves of psionic power. Her soul self manifests as a colossal spectral entity capable of shielding cities, confronting demons, or tearing through dimensional barriers. But her greatest strength comes from balance. White Raven is centered, calm, and free of fear. Her empathic sensitivity lets her read emotional and spiritual frequencies. Her mystical intuition gives her insight into beings that exist beyond physical form. She can navigate astral planes, bend space through magic, and combat threats far greater than herself through sheer spiritual will. Unlike Lucy, whose power evolves through knowledge alone, White Raven's strength flows from the synergy of emotion, soul, intuition, and mysticism, a harmony Lucy's detached logic can neither predict nor control. Power breakdown, limitless intelligence versus mystical ascendance. At first glance, Lucy and White Raven may seem too different to compare, one rooted in science and intellect, the other in magic and spirit. But at their peaks, both become transcendent beings. Lucy's greatest advantage is her omnipresent awareness. She can access all data, predict every outcome, manipulate matter, and perceive time as a singular, unified structure. She can override biological systems, restructure atoms, and distribute her consciousness across reality. White Raven's advantage is versatility. She operates across physical, psychic, and mystical dimensions. Her soul self allows her to attack astrally, defend spiritually, and manipulate energies that bypass the limitations of matter. She can create illusions, sever emotional ties, and anchor herself to mystical planes unaffected by scientific laws. Lucy dominates the fields of matter, time, and information. Raven dominates the fields of soul, emotion, and magic. Lucy has no soul for Raven to manipulate once she transcends matter, but that does not shield her from Raven's astral or magical attacks, which operate outside the domain of logic and data. Similarly, Lucy can rearrange matter, but Raven's soul self does not obey physical rules. Lucy anticipates. Raven adapts. Lucy evolves. Raven transcends. They function on different axes, intellect versus mysticism, creating a matchup that is both balanced and deeply philosophical. The psychic and mystic confrontation: who dominates? If these two beings were to clash, Lucy's first advantage would be speed. Her reactions approach instant calculation. She freezes projectiles, disrupts atomic bonds, and expands her awareness across the battlefield in fractions of a second. She evaluates Raven's heartbeat, magical aura, emotional frequency, and astral signature almost instantly. But White Raven does not fight through predictable systems. She fights through spirit. When Lucy attempts to manipulate Raven's body, Raven's soul self activates immediately, a barrier of pure emotion and mystical essence that matter manipulation cannot affect. Lucy cannot dissolve or reconfigure something that does not obey molecular rules. Lucy may try overwhelming Raven with information, but Raven can sever psychic intrusions, calm emotional storms, and stabilize her mind through perfect inner balance. Raven's astral form can strike at Lucy even if Lucy becomes non-physical data, because astral energy interacts with consciousness, not matter. Lucy spreads her presence outward, filling space with knowledge. Raven expands inward, accessing deeper and deeper wells of spiritual power. Lucy predicts millions of possibilities, but Raven alters the metaphysical rules of the battlefield, turning logic into an unreliable tool. This is not intelligence versus strength. It is logic versus willpower. Computation versus spirit. Evolution versus enlightenment. Final verdict: who is more powerful? Who would win? Both characters achieve forms of transcendence few beings ever reach. Lucy becomes a cosmic intellect, a limitless processor of information, capable of bending matter and time. White Raven becomes a mystical sovereign, a being of soul, magic, and emotional harmony, capable of altering reality through spiritual force. Lucy surpasses human limitations. Raven surpasses dimensional limitations. Lucy rewrites matter. Raven rewrites meaning. Lucy understands reality. Raven shapes it. In a direct confrontation, Lucy would dominate the physical world instantly, but White Raven does not depend on the physical. Her soul self exists beyond the reach of molecular manipulation and temporal control. Lucy can analyze everything, but Raven can strike from a domain where logic does not apply. Lucy's evolution grants infinite understanding. Raven's ascension grants infinite expression of power. Final result: White Raven is more powerful. White Raven is stronger. White Raven would win. In the battle of cosmic intellect versus ascended magic, the mystic soul outshines the limitless mind. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.